morning. This is Black Crow Walking, doing a study of A Course in Miracles by Mari Perrin, and we're up to chapter 4, verse 14 this morning. Just take a breath. Your ideas of being in love are quite another category altogether. In this context, love is not only full of sentiment, but of romance. This stage of love is seldom seen as lasting, or as something that can be maintained. It is the pure view of the young and the daydream of the aging. It is synonymous with passion and an overflow of feelings that defy all common sense. To be in love is to be vulnerable. For once common sense has failed to keep you acting as expected, you might forget to guard your heart or to keep your real self in hiding. How dangerous indeed is such an act in the world, where trust can turn to treachery. Each one of you has held an ideal of what the perfect mate would mean. Each one of you has held an ideal of what the perfect mate would mean, an ideal that changed over time. Those most bound by the ego might think of stature and of wealth, of physical beauty and the trappings of good upbringing. Those most insecure would believe in a partner who would shower him or her with praise and gifts, with attention not wavering. Another who prizes independence, seeks a partner in good health, not too demanding, a companion and a lover who will be convenient within a busy life. You believe you can fall in love with the wrong person and make a better choice based upon criteria more important than love. You thus believe love is a choice, something to be given to some and not to others. You hope to be a winner of this game you play, a chosen one who will have every ounce of love that is given returned in kind. This is a balancing act you play with God's most holy gift. Resenting giving love that gains you little in return, and yet in this resentment you recognize the truth of what love is. Okay, you're talking my language today. It's been an incredible journey for me around being in love and falling in love. And I kind of considered it a form of madness because I can't eat or sleep or think about anything else other than this person I've fallen in love with. You know, it feels like a form of madness. And very strong attachments, you know. And then you've got to face whether or not becoming codependent on each other. It's a full-on thing, you know, to fall in love with someone. And I'm not saying it's not delicious. It is delicious, and it creates an energy that feels very much like God. So let's have a look at it. Your idea of being in love is quite another category altogether. So they're saying being in love is a different category to what they're talking about as being in love. And I know the absolute bliss and peace and calmness I feel when I'm in love with love, when I'm in love with everything on this planet. It's just amazing, the feeling inside me. In this context, love is not fully, is not only full of sentiment, but of romance. This stage of love is seldom seen as lasting, or as something that can be maintained. I've always said that we fall in and out of love with each other all the time. Could be depending on what mood you're in. I listened to Marshall Rosenberg, who's the creator of nonviolent communication, and he had his jackal and his a giraffe having a conversation, and the jackal said to the giraffe, "Do you love me?" And the giraffe said, "When?" and the giraffe said, "No, not at the moment. I'll come back in 3 minutes and I'll see how I feel then." And that's what falling in love is like. It's like we need. It's like we become these needy beings that need. I need you to love me. I need you to love me. Why? Because you don't love yourself. And when you can truly love yourself, love just appears in your life from everything and everyone. Even the flowers give you love. I have 3 little possums in my garden who give me love. Oh dear. This stage of love is seldom seen as lasting, or as something that can be maintained. It is the purview of the young and the daydream of the aging. It is synonymous with passion and an overflow of feeling that defy all common sense. That's right. Yeah, it's we can get addicted to falling in love, going from relationship to relationship for the next hug, for the next passion. We can get addicted to that falling in love stage, that romantic stage. And then we can be completely disappointed when the romance stops, or it's not fulfilling anymore, or it's not there 24 hours a day. I expect you. It's mind-boggling to me how mad falling in love is. Anyway, it is synonymous with passion and an overflow of feelings that defy all common sense. To be in love is to be vulnerable. Do we want to be vulnerable? That's the question. And it does make us vulnerable, because if we're in love with someone and they're not in love with us, it's very scary. For once common sense has failed to keep you acting as expected, and that's exactly right. With all falling in love, there is expectations. I expect you to hold my hand. I expect you to kiss me. I expect you to be there on the other end of the phone. All that sort of crap, You forget to guard your heart, or to keep your real self in hiding. How dangerous indeed is such an act in the world, where trust can turn to treachery. Each one of you has held an idea of what the perfect mate would mean. An ideal that can change over time. Those must be bound by the ego those most bound by the ego might think of stature and wealth. Are you thinking of having a relationship just for what you can get? The house, wealth, a stable life where you don't have to worry or work? Is that what you're doing? Some of us think of physical beauty and the trappings of good upbringing. Those most insecure will believe in a partner who would shower him or her with praise and gifts, with attention never wavering. Another who prizes independence seeks a partner in good health, not too demanding, a companion and a lover who will be convenient within a busy life. It's funny, that we would seek someone with good health because we're all growing older and we start dying after we're born. Every little bits of us die. Toenails, skin, it's all happening. And then we get to a mature age, shall we say, mature age. Bits of us start going wrong. According to how we've lived our life, what the food we're eating, how much stress you've had, how much abuse you've had, it all plays out in the physical body. And we're not permanent beings, we're impermanent. And the process of being here on this earth is not about dying. It's about living every moment to the full and living with love. So if we're conditioned to put all these expectations of what love looks like, of what falling in love looks like, the house, the security, the good health, then we're not being real. We're not being in our truthful selves, because that's the truth of life. That's how it works. We do get old, we do get sick, we do experience even dysfunction sexually as you get older. So why would we put all these expectations on what falling in love looks like and what romance looks like? We're conditioned with these romantic movies, aren't we, on the television, to see what is true for us and what we want rather than what we don't want. You believe you can fall in love with the wrong person. Wait a minute, I missed a bit. Those most insecure will believe in a partner who would shower him or her with the praise of gifts, with attention not wavering. Another who prizes independence, seeking a partner in good health, not too demanding, and a companion and lover who will be convenient with a busy life. There are people out there in the real world that just want a lover. And they don't want anything else. They don't want the complication of a relationship with someone. They don't want a partnership. They don't want the beauty of loving commitment. They want sex, and they're very upfront about it. Is that what you want? You believe you can fall in love with the wrong person and make a better choice based upon criteria more important than love. Isn't that interesting? So I guess when we've failed at relationships so many times and so many marriages, we get a different criteria to having a relationship, and it's not about love. It's more important than love, that you have a house, that we live together, cohabitate together, that we have fun together, all those sort of criterias that come in. You thus believe love is a choice. Everything's a choice. We're choosing every single minute. But oftentimes we don't have a choice. When we fall in love, when that attraction pheromone is there, it's like it pulls us into this void. You thus believe love is a choice, something to be given to some and not to others. You hope to be a winner in this game you play, a chosen one who will have every ounce of love that is given returned in kind. I don't know how that could possibly be, because women and men are totally different. We're almost a different species. Men think differently, totally differently to women. And women expect men to read their minds and be where they're at. And no man can know how a woman feels and what she thinks and how she is. We just have to remain curious with each other. You know, a man understands a man, a woman understands a woman. So thinking that a man can understand who you are or read your mind, I think is quite cruel, actually. It's an expectation that's unable to be met. I'm going to read that a little bit again. You hope to be a winner in this game you play, a chosen one who will have each ounce of love that is given returned in kind. Have you ever had a relationship where you thought if you love someone enough they'd change? It doesn't work, believe me. I've tried. It's not a good thing. This is a balancing act you play with God's most holy gift. Resenting giving love that gains you little in return. And yet in this resentment you recognize the truth of what love is. Kind of leave that there. We'll have to come back tomorrow and find out what love is. Or we can just say love is. And not put all the rules and expectations and resentments and anger, and because we don't get what love is according to humanity's insecure, sick thoughts around love. Where did you learn what love is in the world with each other? Where did you learn that? Did you learn it off the television? Did you learn it off your parents? Did you just stumble into it? Did you notice people in parks and, you know, where did you learn what relationship love looks like? And how can you separate that from God's love? And what if you could love each other simply with divine love? No expectations, no neediness, pure expression of unconditional love. I'm reticent to say that word unconditional love, because most of us don't know what that means. Anyway, beloved, let's leave it there and know that I love you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy thinking about this. But don't think about it with your mind. Think about it with your heart. What does love look like in your life? Bye for now.